The stars above Earth looked different that night. Commander Dae-ho Kim stood on the roof of his military base and watched strange lights move across the sky. They were not satellites or space junk. These lights moved with purpose, like hunters searching for prey. Dae-ho had fought in many wars on Earth. He had seen cities burn and armies fall. His hands were scarred from battles over water and food. Earth was dying, everyone knew that. The air was thick with pollution, the oceans were rising, and most animals were gone. But it was still home. The radio in his pocket crackled to life. "Commander Kim, we need you in the command center right now." Dr. Sojin Park was waiting for him when he arrived. Her face was pale and her hands shook as she showed him data on her computer screen. Sojin was the smartest person Dae-ho knew. She could speak 12 languages and understand alien technology that made no sense to anyone else. "They are not from Earth," Sojin said, pointing at the signals on her screen. "These messages are coming from the lights in the sky. I have been trying to decode them for 3 hours." Dae-ho looked at the strange symbols and numbers. "What do they say?" Sojin took a deep breath. "They are talking about Earth like it is already theirs. They call us primitive animals. They say our planet is doomed and weak. They are planning to land here tomorrow." Captain Boram Lee burst into the room. She was covered in sweat from running across the base. Boram was the best pilot on Earth, maybe the best pilot who ever lived. She could fly anything with wings or engines. "Sir, radar shows 30 large ships heading toward Earth. They will be here in 6 hours," Boram said. "My pilots are ready to fight, but those ships are huge. Each one is bigger than our biggest city." Admiral Woo Jin Choi entered the command center. He was old now, but his voice still commanded respect. Woo Jin had led Earth's armies through the resource wars when countries fought each other for oil and clean water. "What are our options?" Woo Jin asked. Dae-ho looked at his team. "We fight. What else can we do? Earth is our home." The aliens called themselves the Veltar Empire. Their ships landed at dawn in every major city on Earth. The ships were black and smooth like beetle shells. They made no sound when they moved. High Commander Velnox stepped out of the largest ship. He was tall and thin with purple skin and 4 arms. His soldiers followed him, carrying weapons that hummed with energy. They expected humans to run or surrender immediately. They were wrong. The first human to meet Velnox was an old woman selling flowers in the ruins of Seoul. When Velnox demanded she kneel, the woman spat at his feet and said, "This is my street. Get off it." Velnox killed her with his energy weapon, but instead of scaring other humans, this made them angry, very angry. Within hours, every human settlement was fighting back. They used rocks, knives, old guns, and anything else they could find. Most died quickly, but they kept fighting anyway. Dae-ho received reports from around the world. In New York, humans had turned the subway tunnels into death traps. In London, they were using the old sewers to attack alien patrols. In Tokyo, office workers were throwing acid from broken windows. "They are not fighting like soldiers," Sojin observed, watching the news feeds. "They are fighting like cornered animals." "Good," Dae-ho said. "Cornered animals are dangerous." The Veltar had studied human wars through their spy satellites. They had watched humans fight each other for decades. They thought they understood how humans worked. They expected leaders to surrender when their armies were defeated. They expected civilians to hide when the fighting started. But Earth was different. There were no real armies left after all the resource wars. There were no clear leaders. Every human seemed to be a soldier. Every building seemed to be a fortress. Boram led her small squadron of fighter jets against the Veltar ships. Her planes were old and patched with spare parts. The alien fighters were new and fast, but Boram knew something the aliens did not. She knew how to die. Her first attack run destroyed 2 alien fighters. The Veltar pilots were confused when Boram's plane exploded against their command ship instead of trying to escape. They had never seen suicide attacks before. Why do they throw their lives away? Velnox asked his advisors. Do they not value their own existence? His chief scientist, a slug-like creature named Morthan, studied the human behavior. "I think they are protecting something, Commander. But their planet is dying. What could be worth saving here?" The answer came that night. Dae-ho led a raid on a Veltar supply depot. His team was made up of farmers, teachers, and shop owners. None of them were professional soldiers, but all of them had lost family to the invasion. They moved through the ruined city like ghosts. The Veltar had sensors that could detect heartbeats and breathing, but humans had learned to move very quietly during the resource wars when food was scarce and enemies were everywhere. The attack was perfect. Daeho's team destroyed tons of alien supplies and captured several weapons, but more importantly, they captured alien communication devices. Sojin worked all night to decode the new information. What she found made her sick to her stomach. "Daeho, you need to see this," she said when he returned from the raid. The decoded messages revealed the Veltar's true plan. Earth was not their final target. They wanted to use Earth as a testing ground for new bioweapons. They planned to breed horrible creatures in Earth's polluted environment, then use these monsters to attack other planets. "They are going to turn Earth into a weapon factory," Sojin explained, "a place where they make tools of death to kill other worlds." Daeho felt rage build in his chest. They picked the wrong planet. The next day, Boram prepared for her final mission. Her squadron was down to 3 planes. The alien fleet had taken position above the major cities, preparing to drop their bioweapons. "I can reach their command ship," Boram told Daeho over the radio, "but I won't be coming back." "Boram, wait. We can find another way." "No, we can't, and you know it." Boram's voice was calm. "Tell my family I was thinking of them. Tell them I was protecting home." Boram's last flight was beautiful and terrible. She flew through a storm of alien fire, her plane damaged and smoking. The Veltar threw everything they had at her. But Boram had learned to fly in Earth's polluted skies where visibility was 0, and engines failed constantly. She reached the command ship and crashed directly into their main communication array. The explosion could be seen from the ground, a bright star against the dark sky. In those final seconds, Boram's plane transmitted all the intelligence they had gathered about Veltar technology and plans. The data reached human resistance cells around the world. Velnok stared at the burning wreckage of his command ship. His communications were down, his supply lines were broken, and the primitive humans were getting stronger every day. "Commander," Mortan said nervously, "perhaps we underestimated this species." Velnox looked down at Earth through his ship's windows. The planet looked broken and dying, covered in brown clouds and dead oceans. But the creatures living on it refused to die quietly. "Send a message to the Empire," Velnox ordered. "Tell them we need more ships. Many more ships." That night, Daeho stood again on his base rooftop. The alien ship still filled the sky, but something had changed. The lights moved differently now, more carefully. The hunters had realized they were hunting something that could bite back. So Jin joined him on the roof. "Boram's sacrifice gave us the intelligence we needed. I know how their weapons work now."
"I know how their ships fly. Can we beat them?"
Sojin looked up at the enemy fleet. "Daeho, they think Earth is doomed. They think we are just animals waiting to die. Aren't we?" Sojin smiled for the first time since the invasion began. "Maybe. But we are animals that learn to use tools. We are animals that learn to think. We are animals that will never, ever give up." The war for Earth had begun. The Veltar Empire thought they were conquering a dying world full of primitive creatures. Instead, they had awakened something that had been sleeping in humanity's DNA since the first human picked up a rock to defend their family. They had awakened the beast. President Minho Yu stood before the Galactic Assembly on the neutral world of Kepler Prime. Around him sat representatives from over 300 species, many of whom had been enemies just months before. The Great War was over, but the real work was just beginning. "Fellow beings of the galaxy," Minho began, his words translated into hundreds of languages. "We gather not as conquerors and conquered, but as neighbors seeking a better future." The assembly hall was silent. Many of the alien representatives still feared humans, even in peace. They had seen what the Death World species could do when threatened. Now they wondered what humans would do in victory. "The Terran Federation offers membership to any species that desires it," Minho continued. "We do not seek to rule you. We seek to protect you. We do not ask for your submission. We ask for your cooperation." General Subin Kim had spent the last year developing the Universal Death World Protocol. It was humanity's gift to the galaxy, a defense system that could turn any world into an unbreakable fortress. Every planet has dangerous environments, Subin explained to a group of military commanders from allied species. Every species has survival instincts. We simply teach you to use these natural advantages. The protocol was revolutionary. Agricultural worlds learned to hide weapon factories beneath their farms. Mining colonies discovered how to use their industrial equipment as military tools. Even the most peaceful species learned to make their homeworlds too costly for any aggressor to attack. "We are not making you into humans," Subin clarified. We are making you into the best version of yourselves. Humans learned these lessons through centuries of war and disaster. You can learn them through training and preparation. Ambassador Jungmin An had established the first Galactic Mutual Defense Treaty. Unlike the old empires that demanded tribute and obedience, the Terran Federation was built on a simple principle. Attack one. Face all. If any member world is threatened, Jungmin announced to the assembled delegates, every member world responds, not because we are forced to, but because we choose to. That is the difference between an empire and a family. The treaty had been tested 3 times already. When the hegemony of Zor attempted to conquer the peaceful Verdani homeworld, they found themselves facing not just Verdani defenders, but human tactical advisors, Carthan heavy weapons, and Zephyrian biotechnology. The invasion failed within days. The message is clear, Jungmin explained to reporters. The galaxy has changed. The age of easy conquest is over. Captain Yejin Moon commanded the TSF Indomitable, now flagship of the Terran Starfleet. Her ship was no longer a weapon of war but a symbol of protection. The Indomitable patrolled the galaxy, responding to distress calls and deterring potential aggressors. Every species learns differently, Yejin told her mixed crew during their patrol of the Outer Rim. Humans learn through suffering. Others can learn through our example. The ship's crew had become a model for the new galaxy. Humans worked alongside Carthan engineers, Zephyrian biologists, and former Veltar scientists who had defected during the war. They shared knowledge, culture, and most importantly, purpose. Dr. Sojin Park, now elderly but still brilliant, had established the Galactic Defense Research Institute. Her team studied threats to civilized species and developed countermeasures before crises could develop. We learned the hard way that preparing for war is the best way to prevent it, Sojin explained to her diverse research team. Every species brings unique knowledge to this effort. The Institute had already prevented 2 potential wars by identifying and resolving resource conflicts before they led to violence. More importantly, they were developing early warning systems that could detect aggressive species before they became galactic threats. The universe is vast, Sojin continued. There are probably other aggressive species out there, other empires waiting to be born. We must be ready for them. But the galaxy was also healing. The restoration project, led by human and alien engineers working together, had begun repairing the damage caused by centuries of imperial exploitation. Dead worlds were being revived. Poisoned ecosystems were being cleansed, and extinct species were being brought back through advanced genetic techniques. Even Earth was healing. The toxic atmosphere was slowly being filtered clean by bioengineered plants developed through human-alien cooperation. The dead oceans were showing signs of life again as new species, created by combining human knowledge with alien biotechnology, began to thrive in the restored environment. Commander Dae-ho Kim, now retired from military service, had returned to his home near Seoul. He tended a garden where earth plants grew alongside specimens from dozens of other worlds. It was a living symbol of the new galaxy, different species thriving together. My granddaughter asked me yesterday if we are still the beasts from the doomed planet, Dae-ho wrote in his memoir. I told her we are still beasts, but now we are family beasts. Pack hunters who protect the innocent instead of preying on the weak. The former Veltar Empire had been transformed into the Veltar Republic, a democratic government led by reformed aliens who had learned to value cooperation over conquest. Many former Imperial officers now served in the Terran Starfleet, their tactical knowledge invaluable for protecting the galaxy. We were taught that strength came from domination, explained former Admiral Velnox, now serving as a tactical advisor to human forces. Humans showed us that true strength comes from protecting those who cannot protect themselves. President Min Ho-yu received regular reports from across the galaxy. The Terran Federation now included over 400 worlds, but more importantly, it had inspired countless other species to form their own mutual defense pacts. The galaxy was becoming a web of interconnected alliances rather than competing empires. Sir, his aide reported during their daily briefing, we have received 17 new membership applications this week. Also, the Andromedan Contact Committee reports signs of intelligent life in the next galaxy. Minho smiled. The work would never be finished. There would always be new challenges, new threats, new species that needed protection or guidance. But humanity was no longer alone in facing these challenges. The transformation was complete in ways that went beyond politics and military alliances. Human culture had spread throughout the galaxy, but it had also been changed by contact with other species. Human music now incorporated alien instruments, human art reflected alien perspectives, and human philosophy had been enriched by contact with minds that thought in fundamentally different ways. Children on human worlds grew up speaking multiple alien languages. Young aliens studied human history alongside their own. The barriers between species were dissolving, not through conquest but through voluntary cooperation. Dr. Sojin Park stood on the observation deck of her research station, watching a group of mixed-species children play together in the station's garden. Human children chased Carthan younglings around trees from the Zephyrian homeworld, while Veltar juveniles solved puzzles with tools made from crystalline materials from the outer rim. A young Carthan approached her, curious about the elderly human who had helped design their peaceful galaxy. "Elder Park," the child asked in careful human speech, "is it true that your people came from the doomed planet?" Sojin looked down at the child, then out at the vast network of protected worlds, thriving civilizations, and cooperative species that filled the viewport. In the distance, human ships patrolled alongside vessels from dozens of other species, all working together to maintain the peace they had fought so hard to achieve. "Yes, child," Sojin replied gently. "We came from a world that everyone thought was dying. But we learned something important. Every planet is doomed until someone decides to save it. Every species is helpless until they choose to be strong. And now you protect all the planets?" Sojin smiled, watching as human engineers worked alongside alien scientists to build new homes for refugees from destroyed worlds. "Now we all protect all the planets. That is what family does." The child nodded solemnly, then ran back to play with friends from a dozen different species. Sojin watched them go, thinking about how far they had all come from those dark days when Earth stood alone against the galaxy. The beast from the doomed planet had awakened, but it had become something no one expected. Not a destroyer, but a guardian. Not a conqueror, but a protector. Not alone, but part of a family that spanned the stars. The galaxy was no longer a place where the strong preyed on the weak. It was a place where the strong protected the weak, where different species worked together for common goals, and where every world, no matter how small or seemingly unimportant, was someone's home worth defending. Humanity had taught the galaxy a simple lesson. When you have nothing left to lose, you discover what you truly have to gain. When you face extinction, you learn the value of existence. When you are alone, you understand the strength that comes from family. The children of the doomed planet had become the guardians of all planets, and across the galaxy. On worlds that had never known safety, new generations grew up knowing that somewhere among the stars, there were guardians watching over them, beasts who had learned to love instead of just survive. The war was over. The real work of building a better galaxy had just begun. Admiral Kyung-ho Lim stood on the bridge of humanity's first real starship. The vessel had been built from captured alien technology and human determination. It was ugly, patched together from a dozen different species designs, but it worked. More importantly, it carried a message that would shake the galaxy, broadcasting. On all frequencies, reported communications. Officer Ji Young Kim. "Every species in known space will receive this signal." Kyung-ho looked out at the stars through the ship's viewport. Somewhere out there were billions of beings living under the rule of the Veltar Empire and their allies. It was time they learned the truth. "People of the galaxy," Kyung-ho began his broadcast. "You know us as the humans from the doomed planet Earth. Your leaders told you we were primitive animals, barely worth notice. They were wrong." The message continued across space, carrying with it video footage of the war. The galaxy saw human children building bombs in school basements. They saw elderly humans ramming alien tanks with farm equipment. They saw entire cities choosing death over surrender. "We are not animals," Kyung-ho's voice reached across the stars. "We are your neighbors, your fellow beings, your potential allies. We fight not because we love war, but because we love freedom, and we are winning." Commander Jaeun Ryu led the first human diplomatic mission to an alien world, but her version of diplomacy was unlike anything the galaxy had seen before. She arrived at the Carthan homeworld in a captured Veltar warship, accompanied by 50 human marines and a simple message. "We come in peace," Jaeun announced to the Carthan Planetary Council. "But we also come prepared for war. You can choose to stand with us against tyranny, or you can explain to your children why you chose slavery over freedom. The Carthan had been forced to provide soldiers for the war against Earth. Their young people were dying in human-made, traps on a world they had never seen, fighting for an empire that treated them as expendable slaves. "What are you offering us?" asked Prime Minister Yelthon, the Carthan leader. "Protection," Jaon replied simply. "Join the Human Alliance and no one will threaten your world again. We do not seek to rule you. We seek to protect you." To demonstrate her point, Jaon showed the Carthan Council footage from Earth's war. They watched human engineers teaching captured alien prisoners how to repair their equipment. They saw human doctors treating wounded enemies with the same care they gave their own soldiers. "You fight with honor," observed Council Member Zarthek. "We fight to win," Jaon corrected. "But we remember who we are while we fight. That is what makes us different from the Empire." Dr. Seyramhan had been working around the clock in her laboratory, reverse engineering alien technology. Her team had created hybrid devices that combined the best of human and alien science. The results were revolutionary. Human creativity combined with alien materials. Seyram explained to Admiral Kyung-ho. "We are not just copying their technology. We are improving it." Her latest creation was a faster-than-light communication system that could not be jammed or intercepted by enemy forces. Using this technology, human resistance cells throughout the galaxy could coordinate their actions in real time. "We are no longer fighting separate battles," Seyram continued. "We are fighting one war across hundreds of worlds." Colonel Dong-Hyun Jeon commanded the Psychological Warfare Division. His job was to spread fear among enemy forces and hope among oppressed populations. He had discovered that humans had become mythological figures throughout the galaxy. "They call us the Terran Devils," Dong-Hyun reported to the War Council. "Enemy soldiers tell stories about humans who cannot be killed, who appear from nowhere to destroy entire military bases. The legends were based on reality. Human special forces teams had been conducting raids across the galaxy, using captured ships to strike at enemy installations. Each attack followed the same pattern: complete destruction of the target, no human casualties left behind, and a simple message spray-painted on the ruins. From Earth, with love. Some alien species have started worshipping us as death gods, Dong-Hyun continued. Others see us as liberating angels. The psychological impact is devastating to enemy morale. But humans were also learning about the galaxy they were fighting to protect. Captain Yejin Moon commanded a fast attack ship that had discovered something horrible in the Outer Rim territories. "Admiral, you need to see this," Yejin reported from the Proxima system. "The Veltar have been conducting experiments on civilian populations. Entire species have been wiped out as test subjects for their bioweapons. The evidence was undeniable. The Veltar Empire had been using dozens of worlds as laboratories, testing planet-killing diseases and genetic weapons on helpless populations. The humans were not just fighting for Earth's survival. They were fighting to stop a galactic genocide." "How many species have they destroyed?" Admiral Kyung-ho asked. "At least 30 that we have found so far," Yejin replied grimly. "Maybe more. They keep detailed records of their experiments. This discovery changed everything. Humans were no longer the primitives fighting for a doomed world. They were the galaxy's immune system, the species that would ensure no other world suffered Earth's fate." The Veltar Empire tried to negotiate. Emperor Krelvo sent diplomatic messages offering humans a place in their hierarchy. They would be allowed to keep Earth in exchange for serving as shock troops for the Empire's expansion. Admiral Kyung-ho received the message while standing in the ruins of Seoul, surrounded by memorials to the millions of humans who had died defending their world. His response was broadcast across the galaxy. "Emperor Krelvos," Kyung-ho began, his voice carrying across the stars. "You offer us a place as your servants. You think we fought to earn your respect. You are wrong. We fought to earn your fear." The camera panned across the devastation of Earth, showing cities rebuilt from rubble, farms growing in contaminated soil, children playing in the shadows of destroyed alien war machines. "This is what you call a doomed planet," Kyung-ho continued. "A world where every day is a struggle, where nothing comes easy, where survival requires strength, intelligence, and absolute determination. You thought this made us weak. Instead, it made us into exactly what the galaxy needs. We do not want your empire. We want your unconditional surrender. We want you to return to your homeworlds and never threaten another species again. We want you to understand that the age of galactic bullies is over. The message ended with Kyung-ho standing among human soldiers from a dozen different worlds. Former prisoners, former slaves, former victims of the Empire who had joined humanity's cause. The beasts from the doomed planet are no longer alone, Kyung-ho concluded. We are pack hunters now, and the pack is growing. Commander Jaeun Ryu's diplomatic mission to the Carthan homeworld had succeeded beyond expectations. The Carthan Planetary Council voted unanimously to join the Human Alliance. Within weeks, Carthan engineers were working alongside human scientists to develop new weapons and technologies. Your species learns very quickly, observed Prime Minister Yelthon during a joint planning session. We had good teachers, Joan replied. Necessity is a harsh but effective instructor. But the success also brought new responsibilities. The humans found themselves protecting dozens of worlds that had declared independence from the Veltar Empire. Human fleets were spread across the galaxy, acting as both liberators and guardians. Dr. Se-Rom Han's hybrid technology was proving crucial to this expansion. Human ships could now travel faster than any vessel in the galaxy, communicate instantly across vast distances, and repair themselves using locally available materials. We are becoming something new, Se-Rom reported to the Leadership Council. Not just humans anymore, but a hybrid of human determination and galactic knowledge. Colonel Donghyun John's psychological warfare had achieved something unprecedented. Enemy species were surrendering without fighting. Entire Veltar battle fleets were defecting to the Human Alliance rather than face the devils from the Death World. Fear is a powerful weapon, Donghyun explained. But hope is even stronger. We offer both, fear to our enemies and hope to the oppressed. The war was turning into something no one had expected. What began as the Veltar Empire's attempt to destroy a primitive species had become a galaxy-wide revolution against tyranny. Captain Yejin Moon's ship, the TSF Indomitable, had become the flagship of the human fleet. Her vessel was a symbol of humanity's transformation from victims to protectors. The ship's crew included humans, Carthan, and refugees from a dozen other species. This is what victory looks like, Yejin told her mixed-species crew as they patrolled the former Veltar territory. Not domination, but liberation. Not conquest, but protection. But even as human forces spread across the galaxy, they never forgot their origins. Every human ship carried soil from Earth, water from Earth's oceans, and seeds from Earth's surviving plants. They were the children of a doomed planet, and they carried their world with them wherever they went. Admiral Kyung-ho Lim received reports from across the galaxy. Human allied forces controlled over 200 star systems. The Veltar Empire was collapsing as species after species declared independence. The galaxy was transforming into something it had never been before. A community of free worlds protected by the beasts from the doomed planet. Sir, reported his communications officer. The Veltar Empire was running out of patience. Emperor Krelvus himself called an emergency meeting of the Galactic Council. 6 different alien civilizations agreed to join the war against Earth. The combined fleet would number over 800 ships carrying 200 million soldiers. The humans are a disease, Emperor Krelvos announced to the assembled alien leaders. If we do not stop them now, their violent ways will spread to other worlds. They must be eliminated completely. The Zephyrian queen nodded her massive head. The Zephyrians were peaceful plant eaters who feared any species that fought so viciously. Our intelligence reports say they have no mercy, no limits. They poison their own air to kill enemies. They sacrifice themselves without hesitation. General Thek of the Braxton Commonwealth added his agreement. The Braxtons were professional soldiers who respected strength, but human tactics confused and frightened them. They fight like animals but think like machines. Every human seems to be both scientist and warrior, but humans on Earth were not waiting for the next invasion. Something had changed in the weeks since Seoul. The scattered resistance groups were becoming an organized military force. General Taemin Oh had returned from exile to lead this transformation. During the resource wars, Taemin had been court-martialed for using chemical weapons against enemy civilians. He had been called a monster and a war criminal. Now Earth needed monsters. I understand why they exiled me, Taemin told Commander Daeho during their first meeting. I did terrible things to other humans. But these are not humans we are fighting now. Taemin's reputation preceded him. Even enemy soldiers feared his name. He had held the city of Incheon for 8 months by turning the entire civilian population into his army. His tactics were brutal but effective. Every building became a fortress, every civilian became a spy, every street became a killing field. "What do you need from me?" Daiho asked. "Complete authority over military operations," Taemin replied. "No restrictions, no rules of engagement, no mercy for invaders. We are fighting for the survival of our species." Captain Young-sik Bae had been chosen to lead humanity's newest military unit, the Death World Division. These were humans who had been born and raised in Earth's most polluted and dangerous areas. They could breathe toxic air, drink contaminated water, and fight in conditions that would kill most alien species. "The aliens keep calling Earth a death world," Young-sik explained to his troops. "They think this is an insult. They are wrong. We are the children of a death world. That makes us death world predators." His soldiers came from the worst places on Earth, the radioactive wastelands, the chemical swamps, the underground cities where sunlight never reached. They had been shaped by Earth's harshest environments into something no other species could match. Dr. Hee-jin Kwan had been working in secret on humanity's most dangerous weapon, the Terran virus. It was not designed to kill aliens, but to change them. The virus carried human brain patterns, human emotions, human memories. When an alien is infected, Hee-jin explained to the military council, they begin to think like humans. They feel human fear, human anger, human love for their homeworld. Most importantly, they feel human determination to never surrender. The virus had been tested on captured alien prisoners. The results were disturbing. Infected aliens became unstable, refusing orders and showing mercy to human prisoners. Some even switched sides, helping humans against their own species. "It is a psychological weapon," Hee-jin continued. "We are not changing their bodies. We are changing their minds." Sergeant Narration commanded a special forces team trained to operate in space. Her mission was impossible. Capture an alien starship and use it to attack enemy supply lines. She had been chosen because she was the only human who had survived training in the captured alien environment suits. "The plan is simple," Nare told her team as they prepared for launch. "We board their supply ship, kill or capture the crew, and turn their own weapons against them." "Any questions?" "Just one," replied Corporal Minho Park. "Are we expected to survive this mission?" Nare smiled grimly. "Survival is optional. Success is mandatory." The combined alien fleet arrived at Earth like a metal storm. 800 ships filled the space around the planet, blocking out stars and casting shadows on the moon. From every civilized world in the galaxy, soldiers had come to destroy the humans once and for all, but Earth was ready. General Taemin-o had spent months turning the entire planet into a fortress. Every major city was ringed with hidden weapon emplacements. Every mountain range concealed missile launchers. Every ocean contained submarine bases. "Let them come," Taemin said from his command bunker deep beneath the ruins of Seoul. "We will show them what happens when you threaten Earth's children." The first alien landing was a disaster. The Zephyrian plant creatures, used to peaceful farming worlds, found Earth's atmosphere burned their leaves and poisoned their root systems. Dr. Hee-jin's virus spread through their ranks within hours, causing mass confusion and panic. The Braxton soldiers, trained for honorable combat, found themselves fighting an enemy that used every dirty trick imaginable. Human children threw acid bombs from school windows. Human elderly detonated suicide explosives in nursing homes. Even human animals seemed trained to attack alien patrols. Captain Young-sik Bae led his Death World Division against the Veltar elite forces in the ruins of Tokyo. The battle was fought in a landscape of twisted metal and toxic lakes that had once been a beautiful city. "This is our environment," Young-sik reminded his troops as they prepared for battle. "We grew up in this poison. They are tourists in our nightmare." The fight lasted for 72 hours. Young-sik soldiers moved through the toxic wasteland like deadly shadows, appearing from contaminated water to kill alien patrols, vanishing into radioactive ruins when enemy reinforcements arrived. The aliens had advanced equipment that protected them from most environmental hazards, but nothing could protect them from humans who had been breathing poison their entire lives. When alien soldiers removed their helmets for just a moment to eat or drink, Earth's air killed them slowly and painfully. Meanwhile, Sergeant Nare Song's impossible mission was succeeding. Her team had captured a Veltar supply ship by hiding in the cargo they were delivering to Earth. When the ship reached the alien fleet, Nare's team emerged from shipping containers and killed the crew in hand-to-hand combat. "Control, this is Death Squad Alpha," Nare reported over the captured ship's communication system. We have acquired a Veltar heavy cruiser. Beginning attack runs on enemy supply lines. Using the captured ship, Nare attacked the alien fleet from within. Her ship looked like any other Veltar vessel, so she could approach supply ships and troop transports without raising suspicion. By the time enemy commanders realized what was happening, Nare had destroyed dozens of vessels and disrupted their entire supply network. "How are humans operating our ships?" demanded Veltar Admiral Ketfor. "Their technology is centuries behind ours." "Intelligence reports they learn extremely quickly," his aide replied nervously. "They seem able to reverse engineer any technology within hours of capturing it." The psychological warfare was working too. Dr. He Jin's virus had spread to 6 different alien species. Infected soldiers were refusing to fight, deserting their posts, and in some cases actively sabotaging their own equipment. General Thek of the Braxton Commonwealth sent a desperate message to his homeworld. "The humans have a weapon that changes how we think. My own soldiers are beginning to act like them, showing no mercy, fighting to the death, caring more about victory than survival." But the virus had an unexpected side effect. Infected aliens also gained human empathy, human compassion, human ability to see enemies as fellow beings. Many infected soldiers began questioning why they were fighting at all. "We came to destroy their world," reported an infected Zephyrian officer. "But now I understand this is their world. We are the invaders here. We are the monsters." General Taemin received these reports with satisfaction. His brutal tactics were working perfectly. The alien coalition was falling apart from within, torn between species that wanted to continue fighting and those that wanted to negotiate. "Sir," Commander Dae-ho approached him in the command bunker. "We are receiving surrender requests from 3 alien species. They want to discuss peace terms." Taemin studied the tactical display showing the battle positions around Earth. The planet was still surrounded by enemy ships, but many of those ships were no longer firing. Confusion and disorder were spreading through the alien ranks. "No surrender," Taemin replied coldly. "No negotiations. They came here to destroy us. Now they will learn what it means to fight a species that has nothing left to lose." Captain Young-sik Bei's Death World Division had moved beyond defending Earth. Using captured alien technology and ships, they were now attacking enemy bases on the Moon and Mars. The humans were no longer just defending their homeworld, they were taking the fight to their enemies. "Every alien base in this solar system will be destroyed," Young-sik announced to his troops. "We will show them that threatening Earth has consequences." The tide of war was turning. The massive alien coalition that had come to easily destroy a primitive species found themselves fighting for survival against enemies. News of Earth's resistance spread across the galaxy faster than the Veltar Empire wanted. Other alien races heard whispers about the Death World that fought back. The Veltar High Council was embarrassed. How could primitive animals from a dying planet cause so much trouble? High Commander Velnox received his orders directly from Emperor Krelvos himself. 3 full battle fleets would come to Earth. Over 200 massive warships carrying millions of soldiers. The Emperor wanted the human problem solved quickly and completely. "This time we will not underestimate them," Velnox told his officers. "We will destroy every human city, kill every human leader, and turn their world into ash." But the humans were preparing too. Colonel Hyunwoo Nam had arrived at Daeho's base with new orders from what remained of Earth's government. Hyunwoo was a thin man with quiet eyes, but Daeho knew his reputation. During the resource wars, Hyunwoo had held the city of Busan for 6 months against an army 10 times larger than his own. "We cannot fight them the way normal armies fight," Hyunwoo explained to the gathered commanders. "We have no big ships, no powerful weapons, no endless supplies. But we have something they do not understand. What is that?" asked Major Yoon Ji-yoon. She had just arrived from the underground tunnels of Paris where she had been organizing civilian resistance groups. "We have home field advantage," Hyunwoo said. "Every street, every building, every sewer pipe on this planet is ours. We know where to hide, where to run, where to strike. They are visitors in our house." Hyunwoo's plan was simple but brutal. Every human settlement would become a fortress. Every civilian would become a soldier. Every building would become a trap. The aliens would find no safe places, no easy targets, no quick victories. Dr. Sojin Park had been busy since Boram's sacrifice. She had reverse-engineered 3 alien weapons and figured out how their communication systems worked. More importantly, She had discovered that the Veltar had weaknesses. Their environmental suits filter out Earth's pollution, Sojin explained to the War Council. But they are not perfect. If we can damage the filters, Earth's toxic air becomes a weapon. Engineer Mi-kyung Shin raised her hand. She was young but brilliant, famous for building working vehicles from scrap metal and broken electronics. I can make chemical weapons from factory waste. The old chemical plants in Seoul are still full of dangerous materials. Do it, Daeho ordered. Use everything. Make everything a weapon. Private Jinseo Kang was 19 years old and scared. His squad was positioned in the ruins of Seoul, waiting for the alien invasion to begin. Jinseo had never been a soldier before. 6 months ago, he was studying literature at university. Now he carried a rifle made from alien technology and human scrap metal. Are you ready? Asked his squad leader, Sergeant Park. Jinseo looked at his teammates. There was Mrs. Han, a grandmother who ran a grocery store. There was Dr. Cho, a veterinarian who joined the fight after aliens killed his patients at the zoo. There was young me, a teenager who had learned to make explosives from chemistry books. We are ready, Jinseo said, and he meant it. The Veltar fleet arrived like a dark cloud that covered the entire sky. Their ships blotted out the sun, casting Earth into artificial twilight. From space, the planet looked completely helpless. The first wave of alien troops landed in major cities around the world. They expected to find broken, defeated humans begging for mercy. Instead, they found empty streets and silent buildings. Then the humans attacked from everywhere at once. In New York, office buildings exploded as alien patrols walked past. The humans had rigged every floor with improvised bombs. In London, the old subway tunnels filled with toxic gas that ate through alien breathing equipment. In Tokyo, mirrors had been placed on every rooftop to blind alien pilots with reflected sunlight. Major Yoon Ji-yoon commanded the resistance from underground bunkers connected by subway tunnels, old sewers and natural caves. Her network included teachers, doctors, criminals, and children. Anyone who could carry a message or plant a bomb became part of her army. The aliens control the surface, Yoon-ji reported to Daeho over a scrambled radio signal, but we own everything underneath. The Veltar were learning that conquering Earth was like trying to hold water in their hands. Every time they thought they controlled an area, humans would attack from below, from above, from places that should have been empty. Colonel Hyun-woo Nam watched the battle reports with satisfaction. His swarm doctrine was working perfectly. The humans were not trying to win big battles. Instead, they were making every single day costly for the aliens. Death by 1,000 cuts. Casualties? Daeho asked. Heavy on both sides, Hyun-woo admitted. But we can replace our losses. They cannot. Every alien soldier who dies is irreplaceable. Every human who dies is replaced by 10 angry relatives. The Veltar High Command was confused and frustrated. Their soldiers reported that humans appeared to be everywhere and nowhere. A patrol would clear a building in the morning, only to find it full of human fighters by afternoon. Supply convoys were attacked by children throwing acid bombs. Communication towers were destroyed by old people with homemade explosives. How many humans are there? Velnox demanded. Intelligence estimates 8 billion, Commander, his aide replied nervously. And how many are fighting us? The aide hesitated. All of them, sir. Every human we encounter is hostile. Even their younglings attack our soldiers. Meanwhile, engineer Mi-kyung Shin had turned the ruins of Seoul into a massive weapons factory. Using salvaged alien technology and human industrial equipment, her teams were producing grenades, rifles, and chemical weapons around the clock. The beauty of human manufacturing, Mi-kyung explained to visitors, is that we learn to make things from garbage. When your entire planet is a junkyard, everything becomes a potential weapon. Her greatest innovation was the atmosphere bomb, a device that created pockets of concentrated Earth air. When aliens breathed it, their lungs burned and their equipment failed. The toxic atmosphere that was slowly killing Earth became humanity's secret weapon. The turning point came when Major Yoon Ji-yoon's team captured an alien biolaboratory in the ruins of Berlin. The facility was where the Veltar were developing their planet-killing weapons, creatures designed to destroy entire ecosystems. Dr. Sojin Park studied the captured research with growing horror. They are not just testing weapons here, she told the War Council. They are preparing for something much bigger. These bioweapons are designed to kill entire planets, not just Earth. The laboratory contained detailed plans for attacking dozens of other worlds. Peaceful planets with millions of innocent beings. Agricultural worlds that fed entire star systems. The Veltar Empire was preparing to become the galaxy's only civilization by destroying everyone else. "We cannot let this happen," Deho said quietly. "We won't," Private Jin Seo Kang replied. His squad had been chosen to hold Seoul against the next alien assault. They knew it was probably a suicide mission, but they volunteered anyway. The Battle of Seoul began at dawn. 3 full alien divisions attacked the city, supported by flying gunships and walking battle machines. The humans had maybe 300 fighters in the entire area, but Jin Seo's squad had prepared something special. Using Mikyung's atmosphere bombs and Yunji's tunnel networks, they had turned Seoul into a giant trap. The aliens advanced confidently into the city center. Then the buildings around them began to explode, not with fire and metal, but with concentrated earth air. The toxic clouds burned through alien breathing gear and corroded their electronic equipment. From hidden positions in ruined buildings, human fighters opened fire with captured alien weapons. When alien reinforcements arrived, they found the streets blocked by rubble and filled with poisonous fog. Jin Seo's grandmother squad member, Mrs. Han, died holding a bridge against alien battle robots. Her last words were broadcast across the human resistance network. "Tell my grandchildren that I kept our home safe." Dr. Cho used his veterinary knowledge to treat wounded alien prisoners with kindness, then used their gratitude to gather intelligence about enemy plans. "Even in war," he said, "we remember who we are." Young Mi, the teenage bomb maker, held off an entire alien platoon by collapsing a subway tunnel at the perfect moment. She was buried in the collapse but saved 50 civilians who were evacuating through the underground passages. By the end of the day, Seoul remained in human hands. 3 alien divisions had been reduced to scattered survivors hiding in the ruins they had tried to capture. Private Jin Seo Kang sat in the rubble of his university, wounded but alive. His squad had paid a terrible price, but they had sent a message that echoed across the galaxy. From the doomed planet, Jin Seo said into his radio, "We send our regards." The words became humanity's war cry. Within days, every human resistance cell was using the phrase. The aliens had come to Earth expecting to find a dying world full of helpless animals. Instead, they had found a planet full of warriors who would rather die fighting than live as slaves. And every day the fighting continued. More aliens began to wonder if they had made a terrible mistake. In space above Earth, Velnox looked down at his target. The planet still looked broken and dying, but now it looked dangerous too, like a wounded animal that could still bite. "Send another message to the Emperor," he ordered.